What if you could launch a real, profitable business this weekend? Not next year, not after you take another course, not after you feel ready, but this weekend. What if the only thing standing between you and financial freedom is not skill, not money, not connections, but a single decision to just start? Most people spend years waiting for the perfect idea, waiting for confidence, waiting for permission, and then one day they look back and realize the waiting was the failure. Today, we are going to destroy that pattern completely, because in this video, we're breaking down one of the most practical, no-fluff business books ever written, $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. The man who was employee number 30 at Facebook, helped Mint.com reach 1 million users in 6 months, and built AppSumo into a company doing over $65 million a year. And he is going to show you step by step exactly how to go from zero to your first paying customer in 48 hours. This is not a summary. This is a complete breakdown. Stay with me. Before we go any further, if you are serious about changing your financial life, about building something real, about escaping the 9-to-5, make sure you subscribe to Millionaire Playbook right now. This channel is built for people who do not just watch, but implement. Hit that subscribe button because every video we publish is designed to give you an action plan, not just inspiration. Now, let's get into the book. Part 1. The Mindset That Changes Everything. Noah Kagan opens this book not with a business strategy, but with a story about the worst day of his life. He was employee number 30 at Facebook. He had a 0.1% ownership stake that by 2022 would have been worth around $1 billion. And then, 9 months and 8 days into his job, his manager walked him across the street to a coffee shop and fired him. They called him a liability. He had leaked company plans to a journalist. He had been self-promoting when he should have been building. He lost everything. But here's the lesson Noah draws from that moment, and this is the first mindset shift of the entire book. He says that experience liberated him, not liberated him to keep failing, but liberated him from the fear of doing things his own way. It freed him to experiment. And this idea of experimentation is the foundation of everything in this book. Noah says this: most people treat starting a business like it is one massive, terrifying decision, one big bet, one moment where everything either works or falls apart. But the most successful entrepreneurs in the world do not think that way. They treat every idea as a small experiment. Experiments are supposed to fail. That's the point. And when they fail, you learn, you adjust, and you try again. Think about how the greatest companies on earth started. Apple was 2 guys trying to build a computer kit you could carry. Facebook was a weekend project similar to Hot or Not for college students. Airbnb started as a place to crash in someone's living room during a conference weekend. AppSumo started as a way for Noah to get a deal on a software he liked personally. Every single one of them was a tiny experiment, and almost all of them failed at first. The first action step from this section is this: stop thinking about starting a business as a life-changing, all-or-nothing gamble. Start thinking about it as a game of small experiments. Your only job is to run experiments. The results take care of themselves. Part 2. The 2 fears destroying your potential. Through years of teaching business courses and working with thousands of students, Noah identified 2 specific fears that stop virtually everyone from building a business. The first is the fear of starting. Somewhere along the way, most people were told that entrepreneurship is dangerous, that you need a big plan, a lot of money, and years of preparation before you can safely begin. And so people plan, research, read, and talk, and do nothing. They think more preparation will eliminate the fear, but Noah says it's the opposite. Inaction breeds more fear. The only cure for the fear of starting is to start. He gives this formula a name: now, not how. The idea is simple. When you feel the impulse to overthink, to research, to plan, instead, just take one action. Any action, right now. Not perfectly, not completely, just one step forward. Because here's what most people get backwards. They think they need confidence to start, but confidence actually comes from starting. Every time you take action and survive it, your confidence grows. The action creates the courage, not the other way around. The second fear is the fear of asking. This one is even more important for business because business is fundamentally about asking people for money in exchange for value. If you can't ask, you can't sell. If you can't sell, you have no business. Noah's father was an Israeli immigrant who sold copiers door to door every day, speaking broken English, getting rejected constantly. And one day, young Noah asked his father, "Don't all those rejections make you want to quit?" His father replied with something that changed Noah's life. He said, "Love rejections. Collect them like treasure. Set rejection goals. I aim for 100 rejections per week because if I work that hard to get so many no's, in them I will find a few yeses too." This is the mindset shift that unlocks asking. Rejection is not a signal to stop. Rejection is the process. Every no brings you closer to a yes. The average person gets one rejection and gives up. Sarah Blackley, founder of Spanx and the youngest self-made female billionaire in American history, spent 7 years getting rejected daily while selling fax machines door to door before she finally built her billion-dollar company. She kept going. You need to also. Noah created a simple exercise to train your asking muscle. He calls it the coffee challenge. Here's what you do. Walk into any coffee shop or restaurant today, make a purchase, and then ask for 10% off. Don't explain, don't justify, just ask and stay silent. The whole point is to feel uncomfortable and survive it. Thousands of people have done this exercise and reported that it completely transformed how they show up in business conversations, negotiations, and sales situations. The action step here is to do the coffee challenge today, not someday, today. Part 3. The Freedom Number, your first real goal. One of the most powerful and underrated ideas in this book is the concept of the freedom number. Noah says most people fail in entrepreneurship because their goals are too abstract. They say things like, "I want to be rich," or "I want to be my own boss," or "I want financial freedom." These goals have no numbers attached to them and no time frame, so your brain has nothing to aim at. The freedom number is the monthly revenue your business needs to generate for you to cover all your basic expenses and feel truly free. That's it. Not $1 million, not $100 million, just enough to not need a job. For Noah in his 20s, that number was $3,000 per month. $1,000 for housing, $1,000 for food and travel, $1,000 for savings. $3,000 a month, and he could work from anywhere in the world with the people he chose, doing what he wanted. He kept that number as his target, and here's what happened. Because the goal was specific, it was achievable. Because it was achievable, it was motivating. And because it was motivating, he actually worked towards it every single day. Your freedom number could be $500 a month. It could be $2,000. The number doesn't matter as long as it's real, it covers your actual expenses, and it doesn't terrify you. This is your very first action step from this section. Right now, calculate your freedom number. Add up your rent, food, transportation, savings, everything you need per month. Write that number down. That's what your business needs to make. Not $1 million, just that number. Part 4. Finding million-dollar ideas the right way. Here's where the book transitions into pure gold, and it begins with a mistake that kills most businesses before they even start. Noah tells the story of Bet Arcade, a fantasy sports betting site he and his partners built. They spent 6 months and $100,000 building it. It looked beautiful, it worked perfectly, and nobody came. Then, out of desperation, Noah asked himself a better question. What problem do I actually have, and do others share it? The answer was that he hated the payment processing company taking 50% of every transaction from his successful games. So he called his game developer friends and asked, "Would you switch to a payment software that charges less?" They said yes immediately. In a weekend, he and his partner put together a beta version. Within 2 weeks, it was running. Within a year, it was generating $15 million in top-line revenue. The difference was the question. Bet Arcade started with an idea and built a product. Gambit started with a customer problem.
They build and build and build, and then discover nobody wants to buy it. Noah says flip the entire process. Start with the customer. Start with the problem. Start with the question, who has a problem I can solve? Steve Jobs said it. Jeff Bezos built Amazon's entire leadership philosophy around it. You start with the customer experience and work backwards. So how do you find million-dollar ideas using the customer-first approach? Noah gives 4 specific exercises. First, solve your own problems. Shane Heath hated that coffee made him anxious and jittery. He discovered masala chai in India, created a coffee replacement product, and built Mudwater, which now generates over $60 million per year. His only starting point was his own frustration. Ask yourself 4 questions right now. What irritated me this morning? What task has been on my to-do list for over a week? What do I regularly fail to do well? What did I recently want to buy only to find nobody makes it? Second, study best sellers. What products are already selling millions of units? Your job is not to create a new market. Your job is to find an existing hungry market and serve it. Create accessories for popular products. Create services for popular product owners. It is always easier to sell to people who are already spending money. Third, study marketplaces. Go to Craigslist, Etsy, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace. These platforms have millions of people publicly asking for help and willing to pay for solutions. Your future business idea might already be posted there as a wanted ad. Fourth, study search engine queries. 3 billion Google searches happen every day. Each one is a person expressing a problem, a desire, or a need. Use tools like Answer the Public to discover what questions people are asking about topics you understand. Reddit is another gold mine. Go to the subreddit called Somebody Make This. It is literally a list of business ideas people wish existed. The action step here, use these 4 exercises to generate 10 business ideas this week. Do not filter yet. Do not judge yet. Just generate. Part 5. The 1-minute business model. Is your idea worth pursuing? Here's a mistake that kills people's motivation before they even try. They pick an idea that mathematically can never generate real money. So before you spend any time on an idea, Noah gives you a simple, fast framework to test it. The question you need to answer, is this a million-dollar opportunity? Step 1. Check Google Trends. Search your business idea and see if the trend is growing, flat, or dying. You want flat or growing. A dying market is a dying market. Step 2. Check Facebook Ads Manager. Type your keyword into the Facebook Audience Targeting tool. It will show you how many people on Facebook are interested in this topic. If the market size is large enough, the opportunity is real. Step 3. Do the math. Take your target price, multiply it by the number of potential customers. Does that number reach $1 million? If yes, proceed. If no, move to your next idea. For example, say you want to sell beard oil for $50. Facebook shows you 2.5 million people interested in beard grooming. The math says your total potential market is $125 million. Yes, that is a $1 million opportunity. Then you do what Noah calls the 1-minute business model. Take your selling price, subtract your cost to produce and deliver, and you get your profit per unit. Divide your target profit by that number to find how many units you need to sell. This tells you immediately whether your idea is realistic. Noah actually demonstrates this live in the book with a jerky business he created in 24 hours as a challenge from his students. His initial math showed he needed 200 jerky sales in one day, which was too many, so he pivoted. He shifted from single bags to 6-month subscription packages for offices. Now he only needed 33 sales to hit his profit target. That's how you use the model to reshape an idea into something viable. This leads to one of the most important concepts in the book, revenue dials. When your math does not work, you don't abandon the idea, you adjust the dials. You can increase your average order value, you can increase purchase frequency, you can raise the price, you can target wealthier customers, you can add new product lines, you can add service components. Every business has levers you can pull. The 1-minute business model helps you find which levers matter most. Action step. Take your 3 best ideas from the last section, run each one through this model, and pick the one that is both a $1 million opportunity and actually profitable. Part 6. The 48-Hour Money Challenge. Validate before you build. This is the most important chapter in the book, and if you only implement one thing from this entire breakdown, let it be this. The golden rule of validation. Find 3 customers in 48 hours who will give you real money for your idea. Not 3 people who say they're interested, not 3 people who promise to buy when it's ready. 3 people who hand over actual money in the next 48 hours. This is the ultimate test of whether your business idea is real or just a fantasy. Here's why this matters so much. Noah estimates that most entrepreneurs waste months and sometimes years building products nobody wants. They spend money on logos, websites, legal structures, branding, and technology before validating that a single person will actually pay. The validation-first approach eliminates all of that waste. And here's the beautiful part. It costs nothing and takes almost no time. Noah's jerky business made $4,000 in total revenue and over $1,000 in profit in a single day. His entire business infrastructure at that point was a phone, a PayPal link, and a list of friends. So how do you actually validate? Noah gives 3 specific methods. Method 1 is direct pre-selling. Create what he calls your Dream 10 list. These are the 10 people most likely to be your first customers. Think about your existing network. Who do you know who has the problem you're solving? Write down their names, their contact information, and how you can reach them. Then contact them directly. Not through a social media post hoping they see it. Call them, text them, send them a direct message. Have a real conversation about the problem they have, listen to what frustrates them, present you with your solution, and ask for money. Noah provides a specific 3-part conversation framework. First, listen. Ask what is most frustrating about their current situation. Ask how having your solution would improve their life. Summarize what they say back to you. Second, present options. Here's what I can do for you, and here's what it costs. Third, transition to the sale. You said this sounds good, so for this amount, I can do this, starting today. Sound good? The key is always asking for money immediately. Never let someone say they will pay you later. Later is a polite rejection. Get the money now. Method 2 is marketplaces. List your product or service on platforms like Craigslist, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Etsy. These platforms have millions of people actively looking to spend money. One of Noah's students posted a camera rental on Craigslist and got $75 in a few hours with 0 upfront cost. Method 3 is landing pages. Build a simple web page describing your offer, set up a payment button, and run a small amount of paid traffic. This is the slowest and most expensive of the 3 methods, but it can work. Noah's former intern, Justin Mayers, built a landing page for bone broth in a weekend, spent $50 on ads, and validated what would become Kettle and Fire, now a company worth over $100 million. If nobody buys during your 48 hours, that's not failure, that's the entire point. You just saved yourself months of wasted effort. Go back to Chapter 3, pick your next idea, and run the experiment again. But if 3 or more people pay you, you have a business. Action step. Before you sleep tonight, write your Dream 10 list. Before this weekend is over, contact all 10 of them. Part 7. Grow it. Social media, email, and the growth machine. Once you've validated your business, the next challenge is growing it. And Noah's growth philosophy is just as practical as everything else in this book. He breaks growth into 2 phases. Social media builds your audience. Email converts that audience into revenue. On social media, the goal is not to go viral. The goal is to build a small, deeply engaged community of people who genuinely know, like, and trust you. Noah calls this your core circle. He describes a framework called the content circle. Start with an incredibly narrow audience and an incredibly specific content. Ali Abdaal, one of YouTube's biggest creators, started by making videos about the British medical admissions test for British medical students. That's as niche as it gets. But those students needed that information desperately, and they loved him for it. From there, Ali expanded to studying techniques generally, then to productivity, then to broader life improvement topics. Each expansion included his core audience while reaching a larger one. Today, he earns over $400,000 per month. Your unique angle is the key to content that stands out. Ask yourself, who am I? Why should people trust me? What am I passionate about? And what specific transformation can I create for a specific group of people? Write those 4 things down and you have your content strategy. On platforms, Noah is a strong believer in YouTube. One YouTube subscriber is worth approximately 25 TikTok followers in terms of business impact. YouTube content is searchable, evergreen, and monetizable through ads without you doing anything. And you don't need a studio. Noah started his channel with over 750,000 subscribers by filming shirtless in his living room on an iPhone. But here's the critical transition.
Social media followers are not yours. Platforms can change their algorithms tomorrow, and you lose access to your entire audience overnight. This happened to a company called Little Things that had 20 million monthly visitors and lost 75% of them in a single week when Facebook changed its algorithm. The CEO says it cost him $100 million. Email is different. You own your email list forever. No algorithm can take it from you. Noah's company AppSumo generates $65 million per year, and nearly 50% of that comes from email. He says he would trade his 750,000 YouTube subscribers, 120,000 Twitter followers, and 150,000 TikTok fans for his 100,000 email subscribers. To build your email list, create a simple landing page and a lead magnet. A lead magnet is a free piece of valuable content that you give away in exchange for someone's email address. It could be a checklist, a guide, a template, a mini course, or a swipe file, whatever is most useful for your specific audience. Once someone joins your list, immediately send them 3 emails: a welcome email introducing who you are, a connection email inviting them to follow you on social media, and a content email with your very best piece of value. Show new subscribers your best work immediately because open rates decline over time and you want to make the strongest first impression possible. Then Noah introduces what he calls the Law of 100. Whatever marketing activity you commit to, whether it is YouTube videos, email newsletters, podcast episodes, or social media posts, commit to doing it 100 times before you even think about stopping. Not because results will happen immediately, but because consistency is the only path to mastery. A photography professor at the University of Florida ran an experiment. He split his class into 2 groups. One group had to take 100 photos by the end of the semester. The other group only needed to submit 1 perfect photo. When the semester ended, the group that took 100 photos had produced dramatically better work because they practiced, they failed, and they improved with every shot. Commit to your first 100. Do not worry about whether it is working. Just do the reps. Part 8. The Growth Machine. Experiment-based marketing. When Noah was trying to market Mint.com, he promised the founder he would deliver 100,000 users before the product even launched, or he would not be paid. He delivered 1 million users in 6 months. His marketing philosophy is built on 5 questions. What is your one specific goal for this year, with a number and a deadline? Who exactly is your ideal customer, and where do they spend their time right now? What one marketing channel can you double down on? How can you delight your first 100 customers? And finally, if you had to double your business in 30 days with no money, what would you do? These 5 questions are your entire marketing plan. Noah recommends creating what he calls an experiment-based marketing list. Write down every possible marketing channel you could use to reach your customers. Estimate how many sales you expect each channel to generate in 30 days. Execute the experiments. Then, kill what does not work and double down on what does. He tells the story of Daniel Bliss, a Canadian postal worker who built a rock climbing glasses business. Daniel tried 6 marketing channels: personal network, local climbing gyms, wholesale, eBay, giveaways, and Facebook ads. He thought wholesalers would deliver 50 sales. They delivered 217. He thought eBay would give him 30 sales. It delivered 0. Without the experiment list, Daniel might have kept spending time on eBay while ignoring the channel producing 90% of his revenue. The experiment framework made the right decision obvious. The final growth principle is this: make your first 100 customers unreasonably happy. Call them personally. Ask them what you can do to make them twice as happy. Reply to their emails and messages. Give them more than they expected. Because a happy customer becomes a referral, and at the beginning of a business, one referral can literally double your revenue overnight. Part 9. Designing your life, not just your business. The final section of this book surprised me because it is not about tactics at all. It's about why you are doing any of this. In 2014, AppSumo was generating $4 million in revenue. Noah was taking home $150,000. He had achieved everything he thought he wanted, and he was miserable. He cried at a conference. He felt hollow. He couldn't understand why success felt so empty. And then he took a trip to India, sat in ashrams, talked to gurus, and eventually realized a simple truth. He had been building his business the way other people said he should, not the way he actually wanted to. He was promoting products he didn't believe in. He was surrounded by people he didn't like. He was working in a structure that drained him. He had all the external markers of success and none of the internal experience of it. When he came home, he made changes. He only promoted products he personally believed in. He removed toxic relationships regardless of how successful those people were. He arranged his schedule so no meetings happened before noon. He kept Friday afternoons as drinking happy hour with his best friends. These sound like small changes, but they're the reason he became an entrepreneur in the first place. The business is the vehicle. Your life is the destination. Never confuse the two. Noah gives you a practical system to stay aligned. He calls it the Dream Year Checklist. At the beginning of each year, write down everything you want your life to include: travel, experiences, health goals, financial milestones, relationships. Then organize them into categories: work, health, personal, and travel. Color code your calendar so every week you can see at a glance whether you're spending time on what matters to you. And find an accountability partner. Someone you send a weekly email to every Sunday detailing what you planned to do last week, what you actually did, and what you plan to do in the week ahead. Noah has done this every single Sunday for over 10 years with his friend Adam Gilbert. This simple practice of weekly accountability is one of the most powerful productivity tools in existence, not because it creates pressure, but because it creates clarity. You can't drift when you're reporting your progress to someone who cares about your outcome. Key lesson summary. Let's bring everything together. $1 Million Weekend is built on 3 foundational truths. Truth number 1, the only difference between people who build successful businesses and people who only dream about it is one group starts and the other group does not. Starting is the skill. Experimenting is the habit. Courage is not the absence of fear, It's the decision to act despite fear. Truth number 2, customers come first, always. Before you build anything, validate. Before you code anything, pre-sell. Before you spend a single dollar, confirm that 3 real people will hand you real money for your real solution to their real problem. Truth number 3, the goal is not the business, the goal is the life. Use your freedom number to stay grounded. Use your dream year to stay inspired. Use accountability to stay consistent. Here are the 7 concrete action steps to take this week. Step 1, calculate your freedom number today. What does financial freedom actually cost you per month? Step 2, do the coffee challenge today. Ask for 10% off your next purchase. Step 3, generate 10 business ideas using the 4 exercises. Solve your own problems, study bestsellers, check marketplaces, and explore search engine queries. Step 4, pick your best idea and run it through the 1-minute business model. Confirm it's a $1 million opportunity. Step 5, write your Dream 10 list of ideal first customers. Step 6, contact them this weekend. Ask for money. Get your first 3 paying customers in 48 hours. Step 7, commit to 100 pieces of content, 100 emails, or 100 sales conversations on whatever channel you choose to build your audience and grow your business. The most important thing Noah says in the entire book is in the very last line. Just start, and then start again. Because you will fail some experiments. You will choose wrong ideas sometimes. You will get rejected far more than you get accepted. That's the deal. That's the game. The entrepreneurs who win aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep running experiments until one works, and then another, and then another. You get 52 weekends every year. That's 52 chances to launch a new experiment, validate a new idea, or grow your existing business. Don't waste another one waiting. If this breakdown gave you value and you're serious about building the life you want, subscribe to Millionaire Playbook right now. Every single video we publish is designed to give you tools, frameworks, and action steps you can use immediately.